Have you ever had those times where you take out your starter after you haven't fed it for like 3 months and it looks like this? Me too. You know, I don't bake a lot of bread through the summer, and this just gets pushed farther back in the fridge, and so I wasn't feeding it once a week like I should have, or even once a month, and this is what I've got. My first instinct, being an unfamiliar baker with sourdough, is I would go, okay, this has gone bad, we should throw it out. But I think we should do an experiment to see, can we actually revive this? So what are you doing today in the Farmhouse Kitchen, Maureen? Well, truth be told, today I'm going to be canning up our leftover turkey broth from Thanksgiving. So that's really what I'm going to be doing. But in the midst of it, I thought, you know, my sourdough starter is looking pretty lame. So let's see if it's revivable. Please note that the comments and ideas are strictly of that of the videographer and not by any scientific proof or education, as she is simply doing this for your example only. But please do try this at home. See if this is even viable. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to smell it. It still has a nice sourdough smell to it. But you know, we've got all this kind of liquid, which I think they call hooch. I figured if it didn't have an alcohol smell, it would probably be okay. So I'm just going to first stir it up. Then I've got my handy dandy scale. We're going to turn that on there. We got a nice clean mason jar, and tear it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some of our starter in here. I don't know how much to put in, but it's pretty runny. I'm going to put 50. I'm going to put 55. And to it, we're going to add 55 grams of flour, but I'm going to actually put in a little more because this starter has been literally starving. So let's give it a little bit more. Oh. Tear it first. Then I don't have to math. So there's our 55. I'm going to take it up to about 75. So now the question would be, do I put in 75 grams of water as well, so I have equal amounts of water and flour? But the starter is pretty liquidy, so maybe not as much. That's what I think. So let's start out by putting in, say, 60. And these are all grams, by the way. We're just going to stir that up together. Eat, little starter, eat. And because I can always add more water if I don't feel like it is enough, which it's looking like it isn't enough. So it's a little bit thick. So maybe another 10. There we go. You can't see what I'm seeing because I don't have fancy above cameras. But I thought I would just bring you over so that you could actually see what was going on, kind of, sorta. So we'll just mix this up, get rid of any of the lumpy bumpies. And then I always like to scrape down the sides so that I'm going to be able to see if there is growth. Then we're gonna put a lid on loosely. I'm not gonna put the actual ring on it as well because I'm not storing it. I want that air. And then we add an elastic to where our line is so that we can see if there's any growth. Dropping it off into my oven with the light left on. Go to the light, little starter. Feel the warmth and grow. So that it will make a nice warm environment, and then we'll check on it in a bit. So busy yourself with whatever you were doing in your day, and we'll come back. So it's been an hour and a half, and there has been no growth yet. But I'm not willing to give up. I hope you are too. Let's keep going. Sorry, but the pressure canner is singing in the background, but let's have another look. Oh, I see some bubbles happening. Do you see bubbles happening? So I think that's a good sign. Still smells really, really good. I'm just gonna let it go. I might add a little bit of flour, so if I do that, you can join me. Oh, bubbles. This is good. This is very good. It has been in here for hours, so the main thing is that we're gonna continue to be very, very patient. I think I will add a little bit more flour just to give it a bit more food. It's very early in the morning. It's a little bit chilly out. Oh, I can hear them. Good morning. Oh, did you get scared? Did you get scared a little bit? It's morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's morning. Where's our breakfast? Where's the breakfast? That's what we're waiting for. Morning. Before getting the chickens up, I did walk by the oven and I did take a little peek, but I haven't taken it out yet. But yes, it worked. Sure enough, we have revived this starter. You know, you kind of think, well, really, was it a big deal to do that? Yeah, because this starter has a lot of history with me. Wonderful flavor because of the fact that the age that it is. So I don't want to start from scratch again. And truth be told, I've never started my own starter before. This one came from the bakery that my son works at. So I've had this starter for more than a year, and so it's got a lot more aging to it. Now, is it completely ready? I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind doing a couple more feeds with it, strengthening it a little bit more, you know, do some discard, add some more, just to, you know, kind of really make sure it's good and strong. Proof will be in the baking, but that's for the next video. We will try out this new starter with my next loaves just to see how viable and how good it is. Why did I do this? Well, I wanted to know what would happen. So we kind of figured out, yes, we can revive a starter. You know, there was other factors that you have to take into consideration. There was no mold going on in this starter. So like if you have some other, you know, funky things going on with your starter, you know, throw it out. But if it's just been in the fridge, just still smelling fairly good, to give it a shot. I look forward to baking bread with you on the next video. Hope you have a great day wherever you are. Good night and God bless, because I'm going back to sleep now that the girls are up. Good night.